Hello, my loves. It's Agnes. Thanks for being here. Today's video is called, I actually came up with the title before I recorded it, which usually I do it the other way around, but because I just had a birthday 2 days ago, this video is all about getting old, getting wrinkles, back pain, adult friendships, and aging gracefully, if there is such a thing. So I just turned 43, and of course, well, maybe not of course, maybe not for you, let me know. But for me, every time I have a birthday, it's like this, I don't know, it's emotional. It feels like a lot of things come up that I have to process that I already thought I processed, reframing my mindset around aging, around what it means. And also, I get really emotional too around my birthdays because I feel so loved and so grateful. And, you spend time with family and friends, and it's so sweet and it's so nice to be celebrated. And so I don't know, I'm a big crybaby. I cry. And so I thought I'd do a video about aging, if that's something that you struggle with, because I think I do to a certain extent. I think we all do. I think it's thrown in our face insanely as women. This whole anti aging movement, age gracefully type of movement is, well, first of all, that's a contradiction, right? Anti aging, so stay young, stay looking young, don't have any wrinkles on your face, but also at the same time, age gracefully and accept yourself and be yourself. And yeah, it's just such a conflicting message. So I think a lot of people get in their heads about it, and it can be one of those challenging things that kind of eat up at us silently and that we don't always talk about. So I want to talk about it. So let's talk about wrinkles first. I could talk about this topic all day because I am one of those people that doesn't get Botox or fillers or any of those synthetic enhancements, okay? But that's just because I feel, for me personally, if I did those things, it wouldn't align with the type of lifestyle that I feel drawn to and that I genuinely try to live, which is a chemical free, non tox, low tox, natural type of life. I don't take painkillers. I don't really take any type of over the counter medicine. I don't take any prescription medicine. Obviously, if there was an emergency, if there was something, if I broke my arm, I would be grateful for a doctor and a hospital. But I find healing from within. I have my remedies. I have healing modalities that I use, that I trust, that I've been, have not let me down in over 10 years. And so I feel that if I went and did like the beauty treatments, I just feel like that wouldn't align with my lifestyle. And so I don't do them. But it's not to say that I look down on anybody that does them or that I wouldn't myself enjoy not having wrinkles. I would be lying to you if I said that I completely accept every single line on my face and every single thing that comes with perimenopause and being in midlife. No, it's an adjustment. It's hard sometimes. I think it's deeply rooted in primal fears, actually, as women, because if we are no longer youthful and we no longer can appeal to the men of the tribe and we get shunned or thrown out, what does that mean for our survival? Right? So I think that the companies that sell beauty, they know this and they play on this, and that's why it's a huge industry, and that's why a lot of women do it, and that's why a lot of women struggle with getting older, is because it's just such a huge part of our society right now. And I don't think that that was always the case in all societies, and I don't think that it always will be the case. But right now, in the times that we are alive in, it's definitely trending to look like you're 20 something. So I don't do those things, but I do some things. I still want to stay youthful. I still want to feel good, and I want to be on trend with what, even though we can say all we want about like go against society and do your thing and be yourself, but at the end of the day, like, what is yourself? It's so extremely hard to define yourself, because yourself and how you feel about yourself is in relation to everything that goes on around us every single day, and the messages that we receive, either straight up consciously or unconsciously, and the things that we want and desire are greatly molded by society as a whole, by the things that are considered standard and normal. Because of that, and for the reason that I mentioned, that I do wish to look and feel as youthful for as long of the time as possible. And one of the things that I started doing a couple of years ago is face taping at night. So I put little tape, like you may have heard of frownies. I use frownies sometimes, or I just use like a silicone medical tape that I put on my forehead, and that just helps because when you sleep, you crush your face. And I'm a side sleeper, so you literally crush your face and you crinkle in parts of your face, and then that is like that all night long. And when you wake up, you look a little wrinkly, and then as the day goes on, those wrinkles kind of soften. But the older that you get, those wrinkles don't soften anymore throughout the day like they used to. So I do apply a little bit of tape at night, and that helps me a lot, and I feel like my lines are a lot softer. And then I also do face yoga or face massage. I have a few YouTube gurus that I love. If you want me to share my links, just message me. I'm happy to share. But they're European girls, and I love them and I trust them. I feel like they know what they're talking about. A lot of those techniques and modalities are just not as advanced in the US as they are in other parts of the world. So anyway, so I do my face massage and my face yoga. I also do red light therapy, which I try to do at least once a week, but I probably should be doing daily, because red light therapy is just amazing for so many things, not just youthfulness and collagen production and all of that, but it's great. So I have a little thing that I lay under, and I do my meditations in the red light. And then, of course, my essential oils, my castor oil. So I apply castor oil on my face. I apply my frankincense. Frankincense is one of the oils that I use. There are a couple quote unquote anti-aging oils that I love, that these oils have been used all throughout history and are proven to diminish signs of wrinkles. And what frankincense actually does is it helps to soften darker spots on the face, which can appear over time as the liver becomes sort of overloaded. We tend to see those spots, and also from the sun. So frankincense helps a lot. So I love my frankincense. I use it all the time. What else do I do for anti-aging? Oh my gosh, I really don't like that word, anti-aging. I really don't like that word, because we're aging. Like, we are aging from the minute that we're born to the minute that we leave this earth. We are aging. I went to a conference once. It was actually a beauty conference, and the speaker said there's only two ways to prevent wrinkles. One is to have plastic surgery, and the other is to die young. So uh, there's no such thing as anti-aging. I don't like that word. I don't know, but I think you all know what it means when I say it, so that's why I'm saying it. Actually, and this is one of those things that truly does help you look, and more than look, feel young, and that is managing your emotions, managing your stress, managing your anxiety. And the way that I do that is through meditation, mindfulness practices, journaling. Anxiety, anger, fear, all of those things really show up on your face if you live in those states for a long period of time. People that tend to be happier overall, they have a different looking appearance than people that are very angry, or they've gone through a lot. They've experienced a lot of negative emotions, or they tend to sit in their negative emotions more so than a person that is quick to reframe, change the situation around, think positively about a situation, and they're more or less a positive person with a positive disposition. You will absolutely notice the difference in how the face looks. So that, I would say, is a huge benefit to doing the work, to doing the meditations, to focus on healing yourself, focus on pouring into yourself, filling your own cup, doing that, the self-love practices, putting yourself first. And as women, we give so much. We're always nurturing and helping and doing for others, but it's so important to take time for ourselves to fill our own cup first, because it's almost impossible to help somebody if you're not in a state of health, of vitality. If you're not feeling good, if you're not on top of your own world, it's very hard to actually give anything to anyone else, because you have nothing else to give when you're running on empty. So that is a huge thing that I try to do. And then, of course, moving my tush, moving my body, getting my exercise in, which leads me to my next topic, which is the back pain. And please comment if you're experiencing this and if you're close to my age. But around my late 30s, I started to experience back pain, excruciating back pain. I've had situations where I was completely knocked out, couldn't get up out of bed. And I, again, have leaned heavily on my modalities, which have literally saved my life. But what I do for my back pain, and I have never taken, again, as I said, any pain medication, but I do use my essential oils topically. I have an incredible healing meditation that's my go-to that I'm happy to share as well. If you want to message me, I will send you the link. It's not a meditation that I've created, but it is phenomenal. I have literally gotten myself out of being like in a bent C-shaped position, unable to move, unable to get out of bed. And with just applying my oils and doing this meditation, it's like an hour and 15-minute long meditation. I have been able to be back on my feet. But what has happened is, because I've experienced the extreme pain of being unable to move, is I found myself in a little bit of fear to do certain activities that I used to do all the time, like weightlifting and kickboxing. Those two workouts are kind of my favorite. I love them, but I've injured myself because of bad form, because of, not doing it properly, being in a rush, whatever, getting too excited. um, And because I've injured myself, I've kind of, like I said, I have that fear, and I stopped doing it. And I found myself becoming a little bit more um, sedentary, is that the word? I'm sitting too much, is what it is. And we work from home. We have these work from the computer lives. My kids are older now. They're teenagers. They're off doing their thing. They're driving. So I'm not out there as much as I used to be running around with the kids. I used to be out and about with my kids all the time, nonstop. And when they were younger, when they were like babies, I wouldn't sit down for a minute because my boys are close in age. They were very high levels of energy. And so I was just chasing after them nonstop. Not to mention the, picking up the stroller, picking up the car seat, and you're constantly using these muscles, moving your body. And then you reach mid age, your kids are older, you're not doing all those things anymore. And it's sort of like this perfect storm where everything comes together all at once. Your hormones drop, and it's like everything just comes together, and before you know it, you wake up one day and you're like looking in the mirror and you're like, what is this body? Which can lead you down the path of feeling sorry for yourself, feeling like you're old, feeling all these things. And not the place where you want to stay for very long. So I recognize this, and so I just invested in not just, but maybe about right around Christmas time. So about 3 months ago, I got the weighted vest. I got the 16-pound weighted vest. I got the ring, I got the ring that tracks your steps. And I am on a mission to walk 10 to 12,000 steps every single day with my vest on. And interestingly enough, my back pain when I walk with the vest on, there's no back pain. It really gives me a lot of energy. It feels great. I feel amazing. So that's been my focus. I haven't been lifting a lot of weights. I haven't been doing my kickboxing. I'm doing Pilates and yoga. I still love to do that. But even with Pilates, I have to be careful because I think what it is the pelvic floor over time has gotten weaker for me, probably just too much sitting. And, again, with the back, being afraid to do the certain activities that I used to do. And so I have to be careful with Pilates, but walking has been really great. So I encourage you to get yourself that weighted vest. You can get it on Amazon. Start out small and get your 10 to 12,000 steps in, because our bodies truly, truly need so much more movement, I think, than what our modern lifestyle is allowing for it to have. And it's not always easy to get out there, but it is enjoyable after you get over that little hump of kind of forcing yourself to do it. It's really enjoyable to be out in the fresh air, even on a colder day. Bundle up, and get out there and get your steps in. It's got to be like brushing your teeth. It's just got to be something that you do no matter what. Otherwise, our bodies begin to shut down and so many issues start to happen when we don't move. So that's been very important to me, and I hope that this encourages you to get out there and do that. And then what else did I want to talk? Oh, one last very important topic on the subject of midlife, and I think this could be a video all on its own, but I'll just stick it in here for now. Adult friendships. Okay, can we just talk about how friendships change over the years? And so when you're young, making friends is easy. I wouldn't say it's easy because for me, I was always an introvert, so it was never really easy to make friends. But um, the friends that I did have, the relationship felt very easy, right? Because it was all about having fun. It was all about getting together, having fun, goofing around. Nothing was serious. Nothing really mattered all that much. It was just about having fun. And as long as you had somebody that you related to and had things in common with, like you liked the same clothes, you liked the same music, bam, you're friends. It didn't take a lot. And I remember the days when I was like in eighth grade to like high school. I just remember with my best friend just laughing so hard until our bellies hurt. Like those are some of my best memories from my youth is having so much fun. Like always go, looking for the next party, looking for where everyone's getting together, and just just having fun. That's it. That was the priority. That was the priority. And I see it with my teenagers. That's the priority. And then we reach a new phase in life. And for many of us, it's marriage and then motherhood. And when we get into motherhood, we oftentimes, not always, but many times, we kind of grow maybe a little bit distance with the friends that we had when we were young. And if they're not in the same, maybe, like I was one of the first people in my friend group to have kids. So I felt sort of the difference between I'm having kids, I'm a mom, and those guys are still out, they're partying, they're traveling. So the life that my friends were living and my life were very, very different. And so just naturally, this, some distance happened. But then as my kids got a little bit older and they started having activities and play dates, then I got into a new wave of friendships that included my kids' friends' mom, right? My kids' friends' moms became some of my best friends because we had so much in common. And it was fun to get together and the kids could play and moms could talk and it was great. But then as you get to middle age and it things sometimes change, especially for me because we moved to a different state right when my boys were in middle school. So it was a kind of a critical time because it was right when, they stopped kind of having those play dates. And I wasn't meeting a lot of the other moms because we weren't doing the play dates anymore. It was more of a drop off thing. So then you reach this phase in life where you say, well, it's difficult to make friends in midlife. And honestly, like, okay, here's the thing. I wouldn't say that it's difficult to make friends in midlife. I wouldn't say that it's difficult to make friends, period. Actually, making friends is the easiest thing you can do in the world. All you have to do, if you want to make friends, and I'm not saying that you have to do this, but if this is something that's important to you and you want to have friends, you want to have a friend group, all you have to do is be the inviter. When you see people, when you talk to people, when you make small talk, as you're out and about, wherever it is that you may find yourself, there's people everywhere. Be the person that invites someone over. Be the person that organizes the coffee. Be the person that, you know, gets tickets to a concert and then invites another couple to join you. Because if you just sit around and wait for an invitation, you might never get one. And if you want to make friends, then you have to make those initial first moves. And as you do that, you'll notice that people invite you back or you'll start getting invites to things. And it's not always like one for one. It's not always going to be like, I invited her, now it's her turn to invite me. Don't think about that. Don't put yourself in a scarcity, mindset. Just stay abundant in your thinking and just be open to inviting. Be open to always be the person that is organizing and inviting and putting things together and asking people to join. And you'll find yourself very quickly surrounded by people that are also doing the same for you. And also, really on this, if you're really actually struggling making friends, um, really take time to imagine and visualize your perfect friend group, your perfect ideal night out with friends or night in with friends. I did this when we first moved here. I didn't know anybody, we didn't have any family here, and I really wanted community. And I literally drew out in my head what I wanted our friend group to look like, what the type of activities that I wanted to be doing. And it all came true exactly as I envisioned it. I actually did another video about this a while back, but it literally all came true. All of it, exactly as I had seen it in my mind. So take time to do that if that's something that's really important to you, and get as specific as you can. Really think about those details, really think about what do those people look like? What do they talk like? What are the things that they care about? How do you see yourself interacting with them? And just take the time to create that vision, like vividly in your mind. You can draw it out in a journal as well, write it out in a journal, and then just be patient. So you really want to envision it and then hand it over to a higher intelligence and just let it come to you. Don't get so worried about having to create it and how and where, and well, I have this idea for these people, but where the heck am I going to find them? Don't worry about that. Just see in your mind's eye exactly what it is that you want, and then just allow it to meet you where you're at, allow it to find you. But one other thing that I want to just say about adult friendships is I think that one of the reasons why people say that it's difficult to make friends or keep friends later in life is that we tend to, later in life, what we tend to do is we tend to tack on all these different types of expectations. We really could benefit from just allowing every person to be who they are as they are, and just appreciate the uniqueness and the differences and the flavors of all the different personalities and all the different types of people that we might happen to find in the world. So it's natural to want to find the people that are just like you. They're like-minded, they think like you, they have the same beliefs as you. And so for that reason, adult friendships become hard because we go out there trying to find somebody that's just like us. That can be very, very hard because there's so many different types of people out there, and you're not in high school anymore where you're just, in a little, there's like 6 little cliques in high school and you belong to one of them. It's like now you got the variety of the whole world. Stop trying to find your person that's just like you, and instead see if you can go out into the world with like this curiosity almost, like what are the different types of flavors of personalities that are out there, and what can I learn from them, and what can I bring to them, how can I serve them. It becomes like this dance, like it's not so serious. It's not so, the person has to fit in my box, or they have to check all of these boxes off my list of what I think is necessary for a friend to be. And so now as I'm saying this, I'm realizing that I'm like contradicting myself, because first I said envision the friend that you want, and be specific in all the things that you want your friend to look like, and you'll find that person. And now I'm saying be willing to accept all the people, and don't look at if they check the boxes, right? So here's what I mean about that. Envision what you want, absolutely. But at the same time, when you find the people, and they will come to you as you envision these things, they will come, they will find you. But don't push them away because they have a belief that's different from yours, or they live a lifestyle that's a little bit different than yours. I think that's where adult friendships get hard, because we really just want people to be just like us, because what it truly is we want validation that my thoughts and beliefs are the correct ones. And if you think and believe the same thing that I do, then that validates to me that I'm correct, right? But instead, are we able to just appreciate all the different ways in which a person can think or view the world? And can we still find things to laugh about? Can we still find things to enjoy together? Can we still be friends and have different opinions on certain topics? If you can do that, you will find that it's very easy to have a lot of friends, even later in life.